Hello and welcome to Sara Schreiber. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Into Motherhood. We have Sara here. Hi, Sara.
Hey.
This is so exciting. Sara and I are very good friends, and we've known each other for a very long time. I'm going to just start off by reading her bio, and then we'll just kind of schmooze and get started on our questions. All right. So, Sara Schreiber, LCSW, CGP, is a licensed clinical social worker, certified group psychotherapist, and the founder of the group practice Collaborative Minds Psychotherapy, LLC. She is passionate about supporting clients through group therapy and helping therapists successfully start, market, fill, and run therapy groups in private practice through her consulting business, Groups in Private Practice, LLC. Sara Schreiber, welcome to Into Motherhood.
Thanks for having me. I feel
My
so
pleasure.
honored to be a guest here.
Oh my gosh, of course. I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, me too.
Just a little throwback. I don't know if you remember the first time that we met. Sorry, I
Of
didn't give you a
course.
heads up about this, but
No, I totally remember.
you
Yes,
really do? Wait,
I
where did
really
you
do.
think it
Okay, let
was?
me tell you. Okay, Stern Cafeteria. Oh, maybe this isn't the same memory, but my memory is
Not
Stern
mine.
Cafeteria. Shoot, we met before this. Okay, well, you came over to me and friends that I was sitting with, and you started talking to us, and you were like, "Oh, we have a mutual friend
Maybe that
slash
was the first time.
relative." And then we were just chatting and hit it off and forever best friends after that.
Was that the first time? I
Well,
remember
what's your
us meeting
memory?
at like the fair. I think I was running like a Tehillim club then.
I have
Did
no
you?
memory of
And I was
that.
like, oh my God, maybe that was before we became friends. And I was like, I know that girl.
That is too funny. There is no way that I would have gone over to a Tehillim Club
Yes.
table. I'm so
Absolutely.
sorry.
That was very cool.
Oh, not because it's not cool. Tehillim's just not my jam.
No, that's totally fine.
Starting off this podcast announcing how I feel about
Like,
Tehillim.
film is not my jam. No, but
But so
maybe,
many other things are. But
yes.
but
Maybe it's
yeah.
your story is how we met. I don't remember. No, I don't remember. I'm so
Well, it sounds
sad.
like
I
you
was
do
like,
remember. I
well,
want to
maybe
hear the version of me saying Tehillim with you at a
that
Tehillim Club
maybe
event.
because you just like came over and that was us introducing ourselves. I remember you had a really cute like shorter haircut,
I did, yes.
right? Actually
Yeah.
similar to now, but it was straight and like kind of
Yeah. I had like
like
side bangs.
yeah, it was very cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, whatever. Well, many years
Maybe
down.
that was the first time we met, and then we met again, and that time like solidified for me that we were becoming friends in
Okay,
my
that
memory.
that really could be. I don't know. Okay, well, whatever it is. We became
But
friends.
long time ago. What,
I
like more than, I can't do math, 14 years ago or
Yeah, maybe
something?
14 years ago. I probably was
Oh my
like
gosh.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Now I'm just like thinking about that. Okay, should we get
I
to the
know. I was just thinking like
I'm
it's
thinking
just
about it now.
it's so special to have, like, we've really been consistently close
I know.
all of these years, and that's a really special thing
I
that,
know,
like, I
it
don't think
really
a lot
is.
of people can say that about a friend they met in college, that they've stayed like this close for this
Yeah.
long.
I feel like we also grew a lot together along the way and we were there for each other at different times.
Yeah,
It's like
100%.
we had like good communication too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideal friends. So proud of us.
So, Sara Schreiber, tell us. It's so funny because on podcasts, I get very annoyed when people do too much talking and with like before the questions. I'm like, just get to the main meat
Oh
of
my
it.
God, no, I
But
love
like,
it. It's all about the
I don't even care.
banter. Yeah.
Let's just smooth. Like, it's fine.
Yes.
So,
By the
so
way, just a side note, like,
yeah,
I love podcasts where I feel like I'm listening in on two people having a private conversation, and I'm like,
that's funny.
oh, I want in on that.
Love it. Love it. I'm more like, tell me what the deal is and like go really fast and talk. Like, if someone's will put it on quicker,
Do you like
whatever.
skip ahead? You're like, oh, where's the content? Where are the
Yes.
questions?
Yes.
Oh,
Like there's
okay.
certain podcasts I can't listen to, and then other people I know like love. But like, okay, so hopefully people will find
So we're a combo of both
well,
of those
yeah, we'll have
styles.
both.
Yeah.
We're
Perfect.
definitely gonna get into it. So they'll have both
Yeah. We
here.
need to write
So
this minute because we've already
let's do it.
lost like 20
Let's
people. Okay.
okay. So talk to us about your work. Actually, no, before we talk about your work, tell us about who you are and what your hobbies are. Is that okay if we go with
Oh,
that one
yeah,
first?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Who
sure.
are you? Just give us a little Little
Yeah.
tip.
So I'm Sarah. Wow, who am I? I could say so many things, I guess, but I live in Bergenfield, New Jersey, but I'm not from here. I grew up in Toronto actually, but also was born in LA. So had like a bunch of different places that I've lived throughout my life. And have landed here in Bergenfield for now. And I have three children. So I'm married. I'm celebrating my 12th wedding anniversary this next month. Yeah. And we've got
Wow,
three
that's
kids, and our
amazing.
oldest, thank you. So we have an 8 year old, a 6 year old, and an almost 3 year old, two boys and a girl. And I'm a therapist. I'm an LCSW. I'm a therapist, and I have a consulting business where I teach therapists both clinical and business skills. So it's like I've got a lot going on professionally, a lot going on personally.
Yeah.
Um, I'm making Aliyah also next month, so that's also happening in my life. So there's like a whole lot of stuff happening. When you say tell me who you are, it's like hard to really
It's all intertwined.
know. Work in progress.
Yeah.
Um, but what I will say about my hobbies, which is what you asked, is that I really love reading, and it's I don't read physical books so much, a little bit on Shabbos, but mostly I listen to audiobooks.
Nice.
So yeah, and that's a hobby. I've always loved reading. As a kid, I loved reading, and then during college and grad school, I kind of just like put that aside to read textbooks, and had a hard time reading for pleasure. And since grad school, like I've picked it back up, and it's just been really nice to have that as an outlet. And then also, like, I love creating content on social media. I find that
That's
to actually
great.
be really fun. And so I don't know if it's a hobby because it is a job. Like it's how I funnel my whole, um, like where I get all of my therapist clients for my consulting business. But I find it really fun. So I wouldn't say it's a hobby, but it is something that I enjoy. And honestly, my work overall, I really enjoy that too. So when
Great.
people ask me like, what are your hobbies? I'm like, I don't know. I
Well, you
like to
like
work.
reading. I feel like you're
I
really
like
good at,
reading.
I don't know
What'd
if
you
it's a
say?
hobby, but you're good at cooking also.
Oh my gosh, that is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my
You don't
life.
think so? I think you are.
Well, no.
Unless I don't always know what you make versus what not you make, but
I know. Well, what's so funny is that I actually like really don't like cooking at all.
oh,
I love making like the fastest, quickest thing. Like if it has as few ingredients as possible, the better. Um, but I have this memory of you coming for dinner one night, and you were like, "Oh, what should I bring?" And it was like a weeknight. Like you just came over, like we were just like hanging out, and I was like, "Oh, you want like you don't have to bring anything." You're like, "No, no, no. I can't have you make dinner. Like you're making the main. I will bring something." And I said, "Okay, you want to bring green beans?" And you said, "Okay." And you came over and you brought raw green beans, and you were like, "I did not know. I've never made green beans. I don't know how to make green beans.
yeah.
So they're raw." And I taught you how to blanch them for 3 minutes in boiling water.
I don't even
So
remember that part. I just remember the
but
first.
it's funny when you say that I am a good cook, I'm like thinking like because I know how to make green beans
Yes,
is maybe your reference.
I will put you on the map, Sarah. Oh my God. It's actually so embarrassing on so many levels. But that is
You don't
really
have
fun.
we could cut that part.
It's fun. I think we'll keep it.
Or it's fun to keep it in. I don't know.
It's my
But yeah,
immense
no,
editing skills. No, but
I
I also
don't.
want to
I
say,
don't enjoy
sorry,
cooking.
yeah, you
I
don't
just
enjoy
because
cooking.
I do not. No, not a hobby.
Happens. I actually also I'm not. Okay, more about you. Happens. I know. I get it. It's. I don't love cooking, but I feel like you are good at it though. So there's like a difference. But I do think it's very convenient and it's great and it shows that you like creating content because it's kind of like it can in some for some people it might not be as enjoyable, but it's like a necessity. So like it's great that it works out that you like it and it helps your business.
Yeah, I think
So
honestly, I feel that way about my work overall. Like, I really love the work that I do. And, like, when I'm giving a training on group therapy or I'm running a group, even, I feel like people can like, they can see my excitement about what I'm talking about shining through because I love it so much and I feel so passionate about it. And so I think if I didn't love it, I wouldn't be able to do it. So,
that's really nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so good. All right. So talk to us a little bit about your practice, and then also let's go into your courses. And we'll get to
Sure.
motherhood, but this is all part
Yeah,
of
yeah,
your.
yeah. Absolutely. So my practice is so it's a group private practice, which means that it's I was in solo practice. I was a therapist seeing clients one on one. I was also running groups. And then I was just completely like I was seeing maybe 20 individual clients a week and four groups a week. So I was seeing probably about like I had maybe like 25 hours plus 25 plus hours of one like therapy I was providing a week, and that feels exhausting, because you're holding so much, like every hour is another person, like you're giving to another person, and it just can be really exhausting, and especially as a mom. And we were talking about, well, our oldest was going to be going to kindergarten, and so at daycare the hours are a lot longer, and so I was able to work until maybe like 6 p.m. every day. But as he was going to be starting kindergarten like a year from this time, we said, I'm going to have to be more. I want to be more on. Like I want to be able to pick him up when he ends school and be able to hang. And we also wanted to have another baby. And so we my husband and I were like, okay, well, what should we do? How should we figure this out in terms of like professionally? And I thought that maybe starting a group practice would make sense, and that I had basically a year to work on it to get it launched, so that by the time the following September came around and he started kindergarten, I would have like a way reduced schedule, and I would also be able to um and but my income like wouldn't change. That was the goal,
Yeah.
was to not make more money than I was making right then. It was just to make it differently. And so I ended up also getting pregnant. And so the group practice like really took off a few months before I had the baby. And so there was a lot of maybe a little. I was actually I think it was I was building it that whole first year leading up to I had the baby, my son went to kindergarten, and I was able to take a maternity leave and like really see like take a step back and just like have the group practice running. And so I hired therapists to see clients within my practice. And this was when I started the group practice. I want to say it was like 4 years ago. And so it's been really cool to look back and see over the course of the last 4 years just how it's grown. And I would say I consider us a small practice. We have about 5 or 6 therapists in it. Some are full time, some are part time. An intake coordinator, administrator. Um, and we have a year ago, we got like real office space. We had been subletting. And then so we have like this beautiful office now that has like it's a suite with 3 offices, and
Still come see it.
you have to come see it. Yeah, it's
Gosh.
really it just feels really like I feel really proud of what I've been able to build.
Yeah.
Um and and then like I've over the last couple years like really worked at reducing my caseload, and especially in preparation for our move this summer, I knew I really needed to really cut down. And so I see like 4 or 5 individual clients a week. And I still run. I have like supervision groups, and I have my therapy groups and my training groups. So I have a lot of groups that I'm running, and groups I'm running through my other business. But from the one-on-one clients, like I'm really doing a lot less of that because my capacity for it really has changed, and my passion for therapy has changed in terms of the type of therapy that I like to do. And I really, really love group work, and I'm excited about doing more of that, and less of the one-on-one.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about your changes in your workflow? And then also like how do you feel about the fact that you have different feelings about it over time? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
The type of individual therapy that I primarily do is acceptance and commitment therapy. And the version or the style that I really practice within is very relational, very values based. A lot of like present moment awareness, checking in about how you're feeling as we're in the work together, tolerating uncomfortable feelings, talking about uncomfortable feelings, understanding patterns that are happening in your life, understanding how they show up between you and I in the therapy room. All of that feels really like valuable for one-on-one work. And then group, I am trained as I do modern analytic group therapy, which is has a huge emphasis also on the here and now, how I'm feeling in the moment, or not me, but how the group, how the members are feeling in the moment towards each other, towards me, towards themselves. And so honestly, like the kind of work I do individually and the kind of work I do in group really feel very, very similar to one another. And I actually, a lot of times with my individual clients, often feel like I wish there were other people here so that we can work on some of this stuff more than what we can do. Like, I feel limited by one on one versus group.
Wow, that's so fascinating. And that makes so much sense, but it's also interesting because each therapist, like each clinician would probably feel differently about each of those scenarios, but that's what makes everyone
Totally.
unique.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also, like, the type of group that I'm trained in is hard to do. It's not like, I think individual therapy is easier in a lot of ways in terms of what with our training, like we're mostly trained in individual. And so I sought out a ton more group therapy training. And now, I engage all the time in a lot of group therapy training. And so I feel like I'm thinking about it more. And so using what I'm learning more than learning new individual skills to bring to my individual clients. Like
Hmm.
I feel like my training priorities too are within group.
Wow. Oh, your training priorities. Right. Like it's almost
Like
like,
when I'm in my own, like when I'm seeking out CEs and I'm getting trained and things like that, like oftentimes it is more group focused because that's what I really enjoy.
yeah, I think that's kind of the amazing part about having a social work degree because you have flexibility to go into different areas of what you like, even within the clinical world. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks.
yeah, of course. Talk to us a little bit more about your work with therapists.
Yeah. So when I was on maternity leave, actually, I started thinking about how everyone would reach out to me and they'd be like, "Hey, can I pick your brain about how you started a group practice? Can I pick your brain about how you run groups? Can I?" A lot of people wanting to pick my brain, and while I was on leave, I did have the time for it. And I remember actually talking to somebody on the phone, and she was like, "Everything you're telling me is really valuable information, and you should be charging people for this." And
Oh,
I was
great.
like,
That's a great.
"No." I
Yeah.
was, as you said, that's a good friend.
Yeah.
It was someone I don't even, now I think we've like become friendly, but like I didn't even know her. I met her on a listserv and I was like, "I've got the time. I'm on maternity leave." And so it was really, I was like, huh, interesting. And I think even also my sister had told me, maybe even like a year before that conversation, she had been like, "I've been learning a lot about like building other streams of income and things like that." And she's like, "You should really start a course." And I'm like, "What would I talk about? Like, what would my course be about?" You know? And she was like, "I'm sure you could figure something out." And so then I saw that more and more people were wanting information from me about running groups. And I had actually been doing these like 90-minute workshops that were live teaching people about groups, and I was getting a lot of people interested in them. And I had just started posting on Instagram, and I was getting people from listservs and from Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook, like not just Instagram. And so I was like, maybe I should create a course. And so I really focused on my Instagram like content in preparation for that. So I was really just focusing on building up like a brand on Instagram, probably for like 6 months or something before I launched my course. Um, Maybe more, but I also at the same time created a course, a business course teaching therapists how to start groups in their practices. And I launched it in July of 2024, so 2 years ago. And I have over 200 people who are inside of it, which is like crazy, mind blowing to me. And it keeps getting better over time. I keep adding to it. And people who join it get lifetime access to, like, lifetime of the course access to quarterly coaching calls.
Mm.
So they can pop in every quarter if they want to ask me any questions. It's like office hours, ask me any questions they have. And it's just so cool to be able to have, I really enjoy that part of it. But then I was seeing that people were starting groups and then they were like, wait, but I don't know how to run a group. And they were having like clinical questions. So I decided to start clinical training for people. And that's where the
Sarah,
process group
you
experience came in.
are unbelievable. You're unbelievable. No, you're,
I appreciate it.
of course. Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
Back to the green beans. When we were that age, when we were young, like, can you ever, can you ever have imagined what you've built at this point? Like, hearing you talk about, and I just keep thinking about your post being like another person on Kajabi, and I'm like, what is Kajabi? Like I slowly figured it out, but like it is so exciting when you get new students, therapist students, and like I can
Yeah.
hear talking about it, and also in your posts, like I can feel how excited you are. So like it's just amazing what you've built, and yeah, I don't know what what would you tell your younger self like before doing all of this? Because I
Oh
don't know
my
if you
God.
ever envisioned it. I definitely didn't know this was going to happen. This is awesome.
Yeah. I think I would say like keep being creative. Because you can do anything. And I think I to be honest, I think I knew that. Like I don't think I could envision that I was going to do what I'm doing now, but I did always have this like creative spark to me that didn't come out through art, like rigid fine art, but it came out through photography and graphic design and um writing and just different things that I would do. And business, I was always like a little entrepreneur, always. Like, so
What was your first business?
I had a photography business in high school where I like Sardan Productions. I made videos and I would charge people $350 like an evening to come and film their events and then edit it. And yeah, it was pretty good. I rem
I feel like you just posted about this.
I just talked about, yeah, I did. I made a bunch of
Yeah, I
videos
did
and
just, and I was
yeah,
like 350 at that time. That is
I
amazing.
know. But I
That's
was the
amazing.
budget pick because like, you can have a high schooler or you can have an adult for a lot more. So, yeah, I was, and then, yeah, I was a lifeguard and I was a swimming teacher and I was a babysitter. I don't know, I did all sorts of stuff. But yeah, the photography thing was like a real business that I mean, obviously it wasn't like incorporated. I mean, it was just really, I always had that in me. So I think like looking back to when I was in grad school, which is probably the time of the green bean incident, um, we I think I had a feeling that I would do something, but I didn't know what. And honestly, like at that time, like being a therapist on social media wasn't, I don't think was really a thing. Maybe
Totally. Before
Facebook
COVID also.
groups.
Yeah,
But yeah, well before
totally,
COVID.
totally.
But can I
What?
just say about that,
Yeah, yeah,
the
go
process group experience, like what that is?
ahead. Mhm.
So yeah, so because people were starting groups and needing clinical training, I was like, okay, I should start these like 12-week training groups. So the way that it worked is it's run, so it's not therapy, but it can be therapeutic. And I run it through my business, not my therapy practice.
Mhm.
So it's therapists from all over the world. And I mostly have people from America and some from Canada and sometimes from other countries in the world. Um, but it's 12 weeks of experiential group therapy in the modern analytic process style that I am trained in. And week 13 is a didactic where we go back and look at what we just did together and I teach them like theory and all of that from what we like giving real examples from our group and they ask me questions and it's very rich. And so that's been really cool and really rewarding. I also run a consultation group, like a process style consultation group for group therapists who are actively running groups. So yeah, it's been so cool to support therapists in doing this work.
Sounds amazing. Like it really sounds amazing. I'm so impressed. That's so. I guess actually a great segue into that. Honestly, that I'm thinking about. I'm like, wow, our days all look so different. Everyone's day is so different. How does your daily schedule work? And then how is it going with your personal life in terms of that? Like, how is your daily schedule going from day to day? And then how are you blending that and making that work with your
Yeah.
life?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a total blend. Like, it doesn't even feel like two different things. So, my day, starts like during the school year, it starts with us waking up, I drive carpool in the morning. I drop my husband off at the train on our way to school, have two different drop offs. So, I do, we have elementary school and then daycare. And then I come home, and most days I work from home. So, it's like an hour round trip of carpool, and then I'm back home and by 9. And then I start usually like I work from 9 to 4. I am very guilty of very rarely taking a lunch break, but I do eat in the middle of the day. I just my middle of the day meetings are typically like internal meetings, so I can
You
eat
can be
during
done.
them. But I also will like have a 30-minute break, let's say, instead, and where I'll have lunch. So it's not whatever. But yeah, so I'm working 9 to 4,
Fine.
and then
Important. Yeah.
at like 4 o'clock, I quickly make dinner. So this is where my amazing, fancy cooking skills come into play. I make
Yeah.
dinner in 10 minutes or less. And I can tell you another time about what I make. But
Love to hear it.
very quick dinners, and they taste good too. Like I take chicken and I like put literally one spice from Trader Joe's everyday seasoning on it on either side and put it in the oven. And I set it on a timer. So I do like everything is like goes in the oven, on a timer, and then I go and do afternoon carpool. So another like hour round trip of carpool. Come home, dinner's ready, give the kids dinner, do the whole evening bath, bed, whatever routine. During that time is when Nati gets home from work, and he like walks from the bus or the train, which is like
Okay.
a 20-30 minute walk. Um, so, and then I've been better about not working at night. So then typically I'm like done. I have a personal trainer with not we do it together
I was
on
about
Monday
to ask about
nights.
that. Yeah. How's
Yeah,
that
we do
going?
personal training. It's so fun on Monday nights together. So after the kids go to sleep, Tuesday nights like nothing. I go to a kickboxing class on Wednesday nights, and then Thursday nights I run a group. I run in my young adult group, which we have been going for 4 years, and so that group is Thursday nights, and then Fridays I don't really work. I have like it's kind of like anything. It's my like extra day of whatever extra meetings I needed to have, but I try to be finished with everything by 1 p.m. Because also then I have to go pick up the kids from school at 1 o'clock
Yeah, they got home finished
on
earlier.
Fridays. Yeah,
Sarah, when do you go food shopping?
Sundays. Oh,
Okay.
I go food shopping on Sundays. Well, I like someone. We do like Trader Joe's and like the Cedar Market, like the kosher meat protein
Yes.
kosher market
It's
on
always an extra
Sundays
stop. Yep.
for the whole week. So I make the same dinners every night. I mean, every week I make the same thing basically. So it's like chicken, meatballs, tacos, and like a dairy night. So that's like freezer pizza and wacky mac and salmon. It's like whatever. Uh, everyone's basically eating something different that night. Um, and then Thursday nights when I am doing my group, because it's a virtual group mostly, and then once a month we meet in person. So when it's virtual, no, I'm doing it from home, and Nati goes out and does the Shabbos food shopping on Thursday nights, and then he makes Shabbos.
You may okay. The
Yes. So I
smashed
don't
potatoes. Love them.
what?
The smashed potatoes.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah,
I
we
love
haven't
them.
done those in a while.
Um,
But yeah,
he'll
he does like he makes most of Shabbos. He makes challah, he makes steak, he makes everything on Fridays. And so that also like just in terms of my schedule during the week, I'm on. Like I am mostly with the kids. Like he gets home pretty late. I'm making dinner, I'm dealing with like it's all on me, and then it's nice to like kind of have cooking off for the
yeah, that
weekend.
helped do that on Friday. Wow.
Yeah.
But you're
And he works from home on Fridays, so he can multitask.
okay. So with all of that in mind, and that was so helpful. Like I'm gonna just like freeze frame that whole
Yeah. It's
and
so
just,
much
I'm
information.
gonna go talk about it with my husband and be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
Oh
The meal planning is on point. That is so good.
my God.
So great. So talk to us. I mean, talk to us a little bit about, your journey through all of this, because we've talked a lot about your career at this point. And I could just, to use that phrase from before, like pick your brain even more. But let's kind of shift, but also still hold on to that piece because it's all part of the same thing. But
Yeah.
talk to us about your journey through motherhood, to motherhood, into it, and then through it.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing that's coming to mind is I was hanging out. I don't remember when it like if it was before I had kids or right when I was like pregnant or already had one, but it was early on in my motherhood journey. And I was talking and I was with a non-Jewish grad school friend and we went out to eat. And I was telling her about like, yeah, we're gonna have a baby soon. Either I don't know, either I was trying or whatever. It was like coming up, and she was dating somebody who she has since married and had a child with. But at the time, she was like, oh, like I feel like I need to have my LCSW first before I can get married, and then and then after that we'll buy a house, and then after that we'll start trying for a baby. And I remember thinking like, what, like, and I said to her, I said, in my world, like career doesn't come, it's not like one of the steps in terms of making a family. It happens parallel. So I am going to be building my family and my career at the same time. And everyone around me seems to be doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, wow, that's really like neat. Basically, like it was just a different perspective than what she knew of from her life. And I always think about that because I think like in our like Orthodox Jewish world, for those of us who do get married at the same time that we're like launching into our careers, it does often happen that we're building a career at the same time that we're building a family. And for some, I think they can get lost in motherhood. I mean, there's different ways I think that it can happen. So some people I think maybe will take a break to be a mother and then come back to career, or some might not do that at all, and some might get married later, right? And like have the career first and then become a mother and take a big break for that. I know my mom did that. She took 10 years off. She got married at close to 30, had 4 kids, and just like raised us for 10 years and then went back. She was a lawyer. She went back to being a lawyer after once we were a little older. And
Mm-hmm.
so for her, it was like she had the career already. She was ready for for like the parenthood piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I was just so excited about both. And it felt like something that was really in reach. And financially, we couldn't have one income. Like life's expensive. We lived in New York, you know? So I think like also there's like a realistic piece to it too.
Yeah. Wow.
So
So interesting because as I've met people in my life, and as you've also like as you meet different people, everyone has different journeys literally into motherhood, and your angle of talking about it, that you grew both at the same time, is so beautifully put. And also for some people that's their experience, and for other people it's different. So it's amazing. It's so unique for everyone, and this is your story. It's very
yeah,
special. It's
yeah.
very special. How do you feel that one has impacted the other? Like, how has being a
Yeah.
therapist impacted your work as a mother, your work, your role, your experience,
Yeah.
your
My
job,
work.
right, as a mother? And then how does being a mother
Yeah.
impact your experience as a therapist?
Yeah, I think it's been so good. Like it's that was very let me try that again. I
Take your time. Take your time.
I so in grad school I was trained as a child trauma therapist. I was in like a specific trauma cohort, and or child trauma cohort specifically. And so when I graduated, I got a job also being a child therapist and got a lot of additional training in parent management training and in just like child specific therapy. And then I got to work, right? Started working, doing using these modalities and being in supervision and getting like additional training and guidance and all of that. And actually, I got pregnant like the first week of my first job of grad school. I also found out I was pregnant. So I was literally building like a career and a family at the same time. And I had a lot of anxiety just about like being new to the field, like my career and being pregnant. And also like I was really young. I was like 23 or 24. Um, yeah, I think I was 24. So there was a lot of, um, so I was learning a lot and I was really enjoying working with kids and working with parents. And then I had a child, and I remember sitting on the floor with the kids that I was the therapist of and thinking, like, right now, while I'm on the floor with this child, I have a nanny that I'm paying sitting on the floor with mine. And I felt so, I was like, oh, like, I don't really want to be working with kids, like, and especially because I would then get up like off the floor, but then I would go home and I would then be with my child, and I felt like I had less energy for him because I was giving it away to all these other kids during the day. And it really helped me see, like, I think I want to work with older kids. Like the younger kids, I just need to preserve my energy for my own. And when I went into private practice, my own private practice, I really was only seeing like teens and up. And I love working with teens. And I would always say, like, I wonder one day when I have teenagers, like, will I no longer want to work? Like, will it be the same
Like,
thing?
you gotta preserve your energy.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I guess I'll find out. But what's actually really cool is my practice does still work with kids, and I supervise the therapists working with kids. And I think my perspective of having young, like elementary school age kids now and being a parent to them, like I feel like I really understand the dynamics from a more developmental point of view as like someone with lived experience of it versus like what the textbooks are teaching us. So
Mhm.
even when they're talking about certain dynamics, like if in our supervision meetings, I'll talk about like different dynamics with the family, and I'll say things like, like the parents are probably experiencing XYZ. And I'm just saying it because I know, because I'm a parent, and I have friends who are parents. And so I think being a parent and being in like the world of parenting with other, like in a community of people parenting, has definitely helped me be a better therapist than if I was not in that world, especially being like a child therapist.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
in terms of how it's helped my parenting, I have learned a lot of skills, a lot of parenting techniques that I totally use with my kids. So I do feel like I have um like a leg up in some ways in terms of knowing like how to do it, I guess. And at the same time, I think it also gives me more anxiety because I'm like, I'm gonna traumatize them
Oh my
by
God.
not
Totally.
looking at them enough or whatever. Like I think like I get really in my head about like how bad
Yeah.
everything could be and how they're gonna be so messed up.
That's really funny and so valid. I'm sure so many people feel that way, by the way, Sarah. Like, I'm
Like
sure a
even
lot of
not therapists.
no, I'm even forget about
Oh,
it. Everybody for sure feels that way, but therapists for sure. I'm sure a lot of them are like, oh my gosh. And that's the moment when, it's because you know so much. Sometimes it's hard to know a lot. So that's well, that's a good segue actually. Also, I'm wondering like what types of challenges have you experienced then in this realm, being a therapist and a mother, and just being a mother. What type of challenges have you encountered that, you feel comfortable sharing?
yeah. Okay. Um, I have
Emphasis,
two
emphasis on the
boys.
comfortable, whatever's
Yeah, yeah,
comfortable.
yeah. I have two boys, and I come from a family that has three girls and one boy. And I always say, growing up with sisters, like primarily sisters, did not prepare me to have two boys. These boys are so loud. They are always throwing things in the air, like balls, they're keepas. It's just like constantly things being thrown in the air. And they're like snorting and burping and farting, and like it's just so loud all the time. And I think like I did not know that parenting came with that much noise. And I think like since having kids, I've become more sensitive to noise. Um, I actually heard there's like some sort of evolutionary thing about that because like we have to listen out to our baby to like predators from like an evolutionary stand. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what I
Yeah,
heard. That like your ears after you've had a baby, your ear drums like get more like you can hear noises more. You're on more alert or something.
I
I don't
totally
know.
believe it.
I feel like way more sensitive to sound. Um, and I remember when even like when my kids were in daycare, and so Nati was, and he it was still like earlier on in the pandemic, and he was working from home fully, so he would do pickup in those days. And so I would end work like right when they were getting home. And I remember knowing, like, I would hear the car door close. And I remember being like, okay, it's about to be chaos. And like they would just come in and it would just be like, I mean, and they were younger. And so there was more like tantruming and crying and they were tired and it was late, you know, it was a long day for them. So, um, I think that was the part, like not having a separation between work and then parenting was really hard, really hard. And I imagine like people listening to this who work from home could probably relate to that, especially like kids who take the bus, right? Like if your kids get off the bus, then again, and you're working from home, like it probably has a similar feel. I actually really like being able to do carpool because I like being forced to go downstairs, cook. Like I can't be working. I have to be focused on making food. And then I'm leaving the house. And usually when I'm driving is when I listen to either like if I'm listening to a book, usually I make phone calls, check in with family members. Sometimes I call you, you know?
Yeah,
So
I'm thinking that too. Yeah.
yeah, so like I have my commute. Even though it's a round trip commute back to my house, it's still a commute that takes me away and it grounds me a little bit more
Yeah,
for what's to come in the evening.
absolutely.
Another
Yeah.
really hard part about parenting is phone addiction. Like I'm just gonna name that.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk to us about it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
like it is so hard to not check my phone in front of my kids. And I really lately, like in the last few months, I got a brick. I've been bricking my phone.
Oh, I saw you post about that. Can you, yeah, tell us.
It's like really amazing. But before I tell you about that, I'll just say it's hard. Like I am so guilty of like being on my phone and especially running two businesses, especially like the group practice more than my other one. There's always people asking questions and usually I'm not even needed, but it's like I'm in chats and they're like, oh, this intake call, like they who which therapist would be the best fit to work with them, I was thinking this therapist, and then I'll like see it and I'm like, I don't need to respond, like she's gonna figure it out, but then I just can't help it. And so I'll see it like come into my Apple Watch and I'm in the middle of dinner and I'll just like run over and I try to leave my phone in the other room. But then I'll like still run over and like get on my phone and be like, yes, I agree. I think it should be this person. While I'm there, I'm like, let me just check Instagram. Let me just check my email. Let me respond to an email. And then I've definitely been guilty too of like creating, like I've already filmed a reel, let's say, but like editing it maybe during bath time. Like while my daughter's having a bath, she's playing in the bath, it's fine. Like I'm just going to sit next to her and edit this reel. And then my other kids are coming in and they're like needing me for things as they do because they're children. And I find myself getting irritated that they're like needing me because I'm trying to finish doing something on my phone. um so I'm like being really vulnerable and like honest about this because I really don't think, I'm hoping it could help people like hearing it that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And so I've been really trying to work on this where like in the evenings with my kids I have Instagram and Facebook like bricked so I can't access it at all. Like if I click on it, I can't open it, I can't see it. And then once they're finished going to sleep, I will unbrick it. But sometimes I really need a break for myself too. If I'm like mindlessly scrolling, I don't like that either. On the weekends, it's completely bricked. So like Shabbat, obviously, I'm not on my phone. Um, and then Saturday on Sundays, though, I in the morning I just like have it totally bricked all day long, and we go out, and so like I can't even unbrick it because we're not home. So I
You have to be home for it to be bricked and unbricked.
it's a physical square that you like, okay, pretend like this is the brick. You have to press a thing that says unbrick, and then you like ding. And so you need this. So if I leave this at home and I go out with my phone and my phone is bricked, I can't access, like I have to get back to the brick in order to unbrick it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yes.
that's been good. I feel like that's been really helpful.
Yeah.
And um and I want to name that is a hard part of parenting. And there's
Yeah.
like I have such a pull, especially when I'm so overstimulated, to just get lost in my phone. It's so easy. It's right there. And so really trying not to. And I do find that when I don't have access to it, and that like especially on Shabbos, I feel so much more present and like happy with my kids. And I think the phone really does get in the way of that.
It's so real. I'm really glad that you brought that up because it's a really big challenge. It's a really big challenge and it's so important to be honest about that. You know, like you said, like I'm going to name that. I think that it needs naming. I think you're right. I'm glad you brought it up. Do you feel like that's your like one of your biggest challenges right now, like something you're really focused on, or is there something else that's like even more?
I think that is something I'm really focused on. Like it's an active choice every day to brick my phone because I'm like, oh, I'm like on it and my kids are home and I don't want to be showing up like that in front of them.
Yeah.
So I think that is something big that I am working on.
Yeah, that's really special. Um, which brings us to your Instagram following. We're gonna unbrick for a
Which
second.
brings us to I
You
actually did not even make the connection of what the segue was, but obviously that is a
now I'm
very
like,
clear
oh,
connection.
you have, I checked just before to make sure that we're accurate now. You have 9,600, maybe like 64 or something, followers on your Instagram. You have Instagram and then the two different practices and the motherhood piece, you know, and like the bath time and food and all the things. How do you mentally balance everything? Because we're talking also like very physically and then dealing with it from practically
Yeah.
dealing with brick. But
Yeah.
mentally, where are you putting everything? What are some tools that you can share with us if you don't mind?
I have ADHD, so that feels actually like a really big benefit for me. My brain works a lot faster than it would if I didn't have ADHD. I just imagine. So I think my capacity for having quick, exciting thoughts is large. And the type of ADHD I have is that I'm also pretty impulsive. Um, and so I'm like a very quick decision maker. So if I have an exciting thought, you bet I'm going to act on that thought like really quickly. Um, it's funny as I'm saying that, I'm like, wow, I feel like that can be taken so out of context. But but if I have like an exciting business thought,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let's say I have this idea. Let's say I'm like, oh, this would be such a good idea for a reel. Then I'm like, it's like an itch I have to scratch. Like I have to film that reel and post it. Like it doesn't, I don't feel satisfied until I do that. And so it helps propel me forward because it's like living in me. Another thing is like, um, I have this idea. Well, it's been baking for a while, but I was reminded last week, like, it would be great if we could start groups in schools, not just like in our private practice, but actually propose to schools to run groups in the schools itself. Like, I don't know anything about doing that,
Idea.
but it would be cool. And I have a colleague who I know through like the group therapy world in Kentucky who does this in private schools. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, can you come and give us a training about doing this? Like really walk us through how to propose this to schools and et cetera, et cetera. So, and he's coming on Monday and I'm like paying him to come train us in doing this. And I don't know if it will work. I'm like putting it out there, like maybe we'll be able to do it. But it's something that I feel when I have an idea, I just quickly act on it and get it done. And I'm lucky to have also like a great support, like I've hired within my practice good administrative staff that can also help with some of these like executive functioning pieces that I do struggle with that are harder for me. So there's this idea of like every practice needs a visionary, and not just practice but businesses in general need a visionary and an implement and a visionary and an integrator. I don't know, have you heard
Mhm.
this term before?
Mhm.
So like usually the visionary is like the CEO, who also usually is neurodivergent. So they go really well together because it's like we've just got all these great ideas, but we need someone to catch them and actually integrate them into our practice and it like make them actually happen. And so I've from very early on in my practice have had admin who like have I've been able to be like, hey, I have this idea. Can you like make it for me? And like then I have a web page about the thing or a flyer or
That's
um
good hiring then. Like you were able to envision that, so to speak,
yeah.
and that's helped you.
Yeah.
That's
I think I have a really clear under like idea of like what I need and what who I work well with. So that's been helpful. But I and then like if I have, let's say I'm giving a talk about something and I'm really excited about it, I'm gonna be so excited to make my PowerPoint. I sound like such a nerd, but like I sit down and I'm just so excited about it because it feels because I can get into hyper focus about things that I'm really excited about. So back to like how does it mentally, it's I think ADHD actually has been really helpful for that. I also experience definitely I have some struggles with ADHD that make it a disorder. It's not just like a fun bonus for my brain, right? Like there it is also hard to have for a lot of other reasons. Like I'm completely time blind. I have no idea how much time things take and no idea how long it'll take me to do errands or do like and I have really poor executive functioning skills for like outside tasks. Um like making returns for things that are not very
oh,
easy to return.
that is a tough one though, Sarah. Don't be
Yeah,
too hard
or
on
like a
yourself.
multi-step. One time I posted on Instagram, I was like, I can't do returns. Like, I'm sure everyone gets it. And like, nobody got it. Everyone's like, Sarah, you just take it to the UPS store. I'm like, there's like three other steps needed before that. Like,
There's several steps. It's very annoying. Yeah,
what?
there's several steps, and it's very annoying to
Yeah.
do it.
So
So
anything that takes like more than two steps is very hard for me. Like if I need to fill something out on my computer, then print it, then mail it, forget it. I'm not mailing anything. And I don't order things online if I know I might need to return it because I'm not going to return it. And then I'm going to feel so guilty about this thing I own that doesn't fit me because I couldn't return it. So, anyways.
it's interesting though to me because I view you as like from my perspective, knowing you over the time that we've known each other, I do see you as a visionary, but I also see you as incredibly practical and like very much able to execute tasks. Like, we're able in many situations to function and like do what we need to do. And I think you still really you really get it done though. Which
Yeah, I think I could. And I know where to get help and support. So it's funny, like people will say things to me like, you must have so much help like with your kids because I have all these businesses. And I'm like, I actually don't have any help with my kids, but I have a lot of help with my businesses. Or they'll ask me like how like you must have childcare. And like we don't have any like parents who live nearby either. So it's all on us, but first of all, my husband is very involved and he comes home kind of late, but it wasn't always like that. So when they were younger, he was working from home. So that was really helpful. Um, he's also really good at executive functioning. So I will literally, if I have like things I need to take care of that involve multi-step processes like mailing things, like I ask him to do that for me. I'll sign what I need to sign and he takes care of mailing it for me. So that like I can ask him about some stuff like that. And then also on top of that, like I've always had an administrative assistant in my practice that can help me with like all these little things in the practice that need to get done.
Mhm.
And I have cleaning help 3 times a week, which whenever I tell people that, they're always like mind blown. Um, I love having a clean house. It can help me think and function so much better. I hate cleaning, hate it. Don't want to do it. And so I have the most amazing person who's like the best thing that ever happened to me. And she cleans my house. Shout out to Margarita. I love her. She's actually going to be she cleans my office also now.
Great.
Yeah,
It's
she's
great. You
best.
really know like where to delegate, but then also
Yeah.
pull at your skills in different areas. It's awesome. Um, you are very transparent about the financials and about
Yeah.
like, the drive to make money, support your family, support your life. Why are you so transparent? And talk to us just a little bit about that.
I am such a big believer in women, especially Orthodox Jewish women, being able to be their own boss, to make a lot of money, to feel empowered. And so I want to be able to talk about things, to talk about numbers transparently, to show like you could do it too. Um, and so I think that for me, like that feels really in line with my values. Um, as someone who like I love teaching therapists how to start groups because I love groups. I think that clinically they're amazing, but you can also make more money doing them. And so I want people to make more money because then they're gonna have a better life. Like I
Hmm.
know money doesn't buy happiness, but like it can buy you access to things that can make you happy. And it can make you less stressed, you know? And
Yes.
if you're less stressed and you're a mom, like you'll have more energy for your kids.
Yeah.
Um, and then also like within my practice itself, my group practice, like all the therapists who work for me know, like it's just an awful business model, but like I want them to go out on their own when they're ready. And like I also, if they want to stay with me forever, that is, I am happy for that for them to do that too. And I probably from a business point of view want that even more. But I want to support them in their journeys of going out, getting your LCSW, starting your own practice, being successful. Like I want that for people because it's so amazing and it's so freeing. And so I don't and in their contracts it literally says like when your contract ends, I want like you can go out on your own and take your clients with you, et cetera, et cetera. Like I spell it out for them because I want them to be able
Unique.
to, yeah, like I want them to be able to exit through the front door. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't, so
You
it's
just
not a
got
great
chills. You're
business.
really great. You're
Oh,
great, Sarah. You're a great
thank
boss also.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I don't want them to, yeah, I want it to feel good, you know? And like it's, yeah, when people leave, it does, like the practice does take a hit. But I think also for me, like
Yeah.
I've been able to set it up in a way that my other practice, like I have enough income that I don't need to rely on just my group practice. And on top of that, I also don't feel like I really believe, first of all, I have a lot of faith in Hashem, in God, and that I really believe that like He is in charge of how much money we make. And on top of that, I also think that when I'm doing something that feels values aligned, like saying you can leave, you can take your clients with you, like, wishing you well, so excited to like literally give you the gift of like helping you start your own practice,
Yeah.
that it'll come back to me, like that I'm not going to be like suffering because of that, you know?
Oh,
So
that's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad I asked that and that we landed on that. Um, so to go back to Nati, to go back to your kids and your family life, how do you partner together to build all of this and to maintain all of this? It's unbelievable.
thanks. How do we partner
How do you work
together
together?
to, yeah, I'm like thinking like what is all of this, there's so many pieces. Well, he also has a job. He also works. Well, I think like to tie us into the money or to bring us back like to the money
Yeah, I actually
conversation.
wasn't thinking about that. I don't know. I wasn't asking in that way, but feel free,
No, no,
please.
no, but
Part of
like
the
something
equation.
really, so like part of our story is that we met in undergrad. And so we got married when we were still in undergrad. And so we know also what it's like to be really poor and have like no money and really hustle. And thank God we weren't, when I say like really poor, our parents, we were able to rely like to lean on our parents if we needed it. They wouldn't like let us be homeless, but they said you're getting married at 21, like you're adults, like we will, you're still in undergrad, so we know you can't have jobs, so we will help with your rent and we'll give you a little bit of money towards your groceries, but other than that, like, figure it out. um which honestly was like how it was when I was in, before I got married, like in the dorms, like I didn't have um like unlimited funds to buy whatever I wanted. I worked, I had part-time jobs always. So we had part-time jobs. But I think like being where we are now, but having come from where we came from, which was we both worked like 3 jobs between the two of us, like 3 part-time jobs, like during undergrad and grad school. I think there's like a big appreciation for how hard we've worked to get to where we are now, where we feel like we're in a good place financially. And like his first job out of grad school was, he's an accountant. Like they don't make a lot of money out of grad school. They really don't. He made like, actually, I don't remember. I want to say like low 60s as his first job. Um, but I can't remember if it was, yeah, it was maybe like that, or maybe even it was like, yeah, I think it was low 60s. Um, and then my first job out of grad school, I made 55K. And then at that point, like when we had jobs, but once he started working, we were totally not like the no family help at all. So we really needed to be very mindful and careful about, how we were budgeting and our expenses and all of that. And then we had a baby, which takes a ton of resources.
Yeah.
I think I probably paid a nanny the same amount that I took home after taxes, but I knew I was investing in my career by doing that because I knew one day I'd be able to make a lot more than what I'd be paying somebody to watch my children. So for me it did feel like actually a financial investment, um, or a business investment, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like we've always been very aware of, my job has less of a ceiling. I can be more creative, and I can, like, once I got out of once I went out on my own, I was able to create opportunities for more income where he really couldn't. So I was very supportive of his like progression through the ranks at his firm that he was at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now, where he's been working for 10 years at this point, he has a different job. He switched jobs, and we're moving, and he's able to keep his job in Israel. And I'm going to be seeing very, like, still like my very small caseload, and all of the group stuff. Like, I'm just pausing until I figure out kind of what my schedule is going to look like. And I still have the group practice, but again, like I'm not totally sure, how it'll look financially on my end, like how much I'll be bringing in. But so from the money piece, sorry, that was like super technical. But from the money piece,
Very interesting. Yeah.
it does feel really good to be able to like have had all this history with each other, where it's like I can like, there's times where I was there right when I went into private practice, I think I was making at least double his income. And then eventually kind of like evened out that we were sort of, kind of more comparable, and we were getting a lot of help, health insurance and other benefits from him. So it wasn't like just money, but
That's massive, by the way, the health insurance. That's a
yeah. Oh,
part of the equation. Yeah.
totally. Oh yeah, it was like a $20,000 benefit. 100%. So helpful. Um, but yeah, so I think like just from like the emotional support piece and like the fight, like understanding each other's careers and really supporting each other in that way has been really amazing. And like he's been so supportive of my career from the beginning. And like I think there's this post I made on Instagram that was pretty popular, where I said, like, person I just met, like, what do you do for work? And I say, I'm a social worker. And then I'm like, my husband, no, she's a businesswoman. Like something like that. Like he's always been very proud of me. And then with like the kids stuff, we really share a lot of, he's copied on we copy each other on every email for the kids. He's the person that the school has to call first, like not me, because I'm in sessions usually. So he has
Mm.
more availability to pick up the phone. So they know like he's the first phone call. Um, and just in general, like our roles, we don't really fall into the stereotypical gender roles. Um, he makes Shabbos every week, right? Like he does a lot of the cooking, and he does pretty much all the grocery shopping. Um, Yontiv, like holiday, it's like a whole other episode, but like he
Yeah.
makes basically every holiday, Jewish holiday, we're home for pretty much, and we host usually like out of town guests, and he makes all of it. He really, and I'll say like, what can I make? Like, give me a list, give me some stuff, and I'll take on things to make. But he's in charge, like he runs the show in the kitchen. And kids appointments, it's really just based on one of our, like, it's just our schedules, like who's available. Like, we have, our kids have all sorts of stuff as kids do, and it's like, okay, who's available to do, to take, to go to the dermatologist on, in this month, and who's available to do this and that time. And so it really feels like a partnership, and a very equal parenting partnership, I would say. And then, when he was in accounting busy season, that's when I would step in and I would do 100% of the parenting, basically,
Mm-hmm.
including Sundays, because we needed to. And then when he's not in busy season, that's when I'm able to step in, or he's able to step in, and then I can be a little busier with work. This past year, he didn't have busy season because he switched jobs, but that was amazing. And so it was a whole year of like kind of like equal parenting, which was great. Gosh.
We'll wrap up soon because we've really delved into it all. And what's your favorite part about being a mom?
uh, I love watching the world through my kids' eyes. And as they get older and they're like real people with real thoughts and opinions, and um it's just so cool. It's so cool. And so that, yeah, I would say that's my favorite part.
That's so nice. And how do you feel about things moving forward? You are soon also making a big transition. How are you feeling about that? And what do you want to impart to us before we finish?
Yeah. I mean, the move is completely like scary and terrifying and exciting, and I think I'm mostly worried about my kids, like, and their acclimation, and everyone's like, "Oh, they'll be great." Um, which, like, they probably will be, but as their mom, it's my job to be worried about them.
Yeah.
Um, and I think, like, also my own work, I'm kind of interested and excited to see what happens next. It almost feels like I'm preparing to have another baby with this move. It's like I'm gonna be having, I'm talking to with my clients about like taking a leave, and like, and then I'll come back, and like discussing that, which is interesting, and like putting them on my calendar for September, because I'm gonna be stopping to work in a few weeks. And um, and I know historically that when I'm off, when I take time off, I come back like more creative and energized than ever. So I'm really excited about like what this change will bring for me, like creatively, and also just for our family. Um, and to those listening, he said, "What did you ask me? What do I have to impart? What do I want to share?"
Yeah. I mean, I wanted you to share with us like how you're feeling about the move, and then yeah, what do you want to impart? What do you want to share with us? We
Um,
could really talk for a long time, but this
oh
is
my God, we
we've
could talk
we've really done
forever.
it. This is, it's over an hour. I don't wanna
You could
do it
split
too
it
long
into,
either. But
we're gonna have to edit this down.
I know.
Yeah, I don't. I think just, I think the thing, this is a podcast about motherhood, right? And it is really, motherhood is crazy. And I think like there are so many times during the week where I'm like, I'll say something and I'll be like, wow, I never thought that would come out of my mouth. And things like, don't lick your sister's hair, like, or whatever. I don't even know what. It's just always such, and so much delight. Like, my kids say things that I'm just delighted at. Like, they're just hilarious. My Judah, my middle one, is like, he says such funny things all the time. And like, he's not trying to be funny. It's just how he talks. And I think that, I guess the thing I want to impart is like, oh, wait, I have a really good thing to impart.
Please, honestly, say it all.
Okay.
Like, if
You'll
anyone
you'll
wants to listen to the
edit.
whole
You'll
thing,
edit.
listen to the whole thing. If they don't, they don't. I want to hear it. So,
Okay, okay, okay. So I heard this person talk when I was in Stern, like in, or yeah, I was really like in undergrad still. I heard someone talk about um like we always want to get through everything. Like everyone's like, I just want to get through the holidays. I just want to get through the whatever, the Hagim. I just want to get through the bar mitzvah. I just want, she's like, and we're so busy trying to get through all the time that we're not living in. And that really stuck with me. I actually talk about that a lot with my individual clients, like that idea, because it's really about mindfulness and about slowing down and about not just rushing to get through to the next chapter, but being able to just slow down and enjoy. And it doesn't have to be enjoying, right? It doesn't have to feel good, but like appreciating that you're in that. And I remember thinking about it one time when I was like really in the thick of motherhood. I had a 2.5-year-old and like a 6-month-old, and I was vacuuming our carpet. We were living in the basement apartment. Remember that apartment in Queens, right? We're living in this basement apartment. We were saving money to move here, and I was vacuuming the rug. And while I was doing that, I was holding Judah, who was a baby, and Ezzy was on my leg, holding onto my leg like a koala bear. And I'm like vacuuming with like so overstimulated. And I remember thinking back to that moment, that woman, and I was like, I could feel really overwhelmed, but I also like this is motherhood. Like I'm in this right now, and it is hard, and it's supposed to be hard, and it will not be like this forever. And I can tell you now, like my youngest is almost 3, and I do feel, and my oldest is 8, and I feel like so, like it's slipping away already, those, it's crazy. And I know like you got how old is your baby? Like 1?
9 months. 9
Not, yeah, not even 1, right? Like it's so like, and it's, it's the first year. I feel like it's so hard. There's so many different things, but you do end up having, it just flies by. And like as he like puts himself to sleep now, like of course, like I go, I say goodnight and everything, but he's like, can I read? I'm like, of course you can go read, and he gets into his bed and he reads, and then sometimes he falls asleep while reading, and I don't even get to say goodnight to him.
Cute. Yeah.
So cute. But also it's like he's old. He's like his own person who lies in bed and reads. Like when did he get to be that old?
You like to read
So
too. He likes to read like you.
I do. I love seeing my kids be
Circle.
similar to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's but yeah, I guess that's like the advice I wanna impart is like when it feels hard, it is hard, and it's okay to like slow yourself down and just be like, I'm just in this right now, and it will not be like this forever. And it's okay to like acknowledge that it feels hard, and to think about like the parts of it that are maybe that are not as hard, like when my kids are being so crazy and loud, like sometimes I'll just pause myself and look at them and be like, they're so cute. They're so little. Like one day they're gonna be teenagers and not gonna want to hug me anymore. Like when they're all jumping on top of me or like asking for extra hugs, and I'm so touched out. I'm like imagining them as like a 20-year-old. I'm like, they're not gonna want to hug me. Maybe they will at that point again, but like just it helps. It helps keep that perspective of like, what do they say? The days are long, but the years are short.
Chills. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. So beautiful. This was amazing. This
Thanks
was
for
really,
having
really.
me.
What'd you say?
Said thanks for having me. Such an honor to be on.
My pleasure. No, it's an honor to have you. And I've learned so much from having you on, and I'm so excited for people to hear this. I know traditionally ask how can people reach you, but I'll put it all in the show notes. And I wish you so much mazel and bracha and simcha, and just like everything should just go well with the move and Mirz Hashem. And
Thank you.
like you're doing something that so many of us really look up to.
Thank you
And
so much.
Hashem should just give you guys koach, and thank you for doing it because it's important. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Thanks, Julie.
yeah, my pleasure. It was awesome to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome.